Hey guys, it's Jen, and I'm back with another process video. I'm so excited to be scrapbooking again. I'm trying to get over this stupid sickness. Um, and I've got a bottle of water here next to me, hoping that I don't have a coughing fit, so we'll see. I'm using one of my stash kits that I created for this layout. And if you want to see, I do have all of my videos organized by kit, and so I have a stash kits playlist that you can find all of those layouts under, which this is only the second one I've done. I've been loving my other kits so much, but I do want to try to use my stash every once in a while. So um, that yellow ombre paper is from We Are Memory Keepers, and then I'm layering my photo up with a piece of Dear Lizzie paper, and then behind that is a little piece of that pink paper is from Cartabella. Hello again. And now I am cutting this circle out of that Teresa Collins paper. And it's kind of reddish, but it pulls pink. It's a little pinkish. And I pulled out some of my Maggie Holmes flea market frames. Is it flea market? It might have been the one before that. Anyway, I'm pulling out some of those Polaroid frames that are fabric to see if that might work. And then what I'm going through now are the Heidi Swap, these Heidi Swap acetate or clear, um, not clear, but they're like a see-through mint color, kind of. And the title of my layout is going to be Would You Rather. And this is kind of a strange photo of my daughter. She's hiding her face behind a drink. We were at Arby's, and the whole time we were sitting there, she was just saying, Mom, would you rather? And she asked me so many different things, would you rather? And she's kind of going through a phase where she's asking us lots of would you rather questions and other questions too. And quite honestly, it's driving me crazy, but that's part of being 8, I guess. And so my journaling will say something to that effect. So I pulled out all the letters to spell the word rather, and then, excuse me, I'm pulling this cream font from Basic Gray to spell out the would you, and it's going to kind of fade into that yellowish background, which is fine with me. Um, I love that font. It's such a classic font. And I think I have about 10 sheets of those stickers because my Joann's had them for like 50 cents or maybe even a quarter because they're not carrying Basic Gray anymore, I guess. I don't know. They were on sale. I'm trying to see if one of these October afternoon label stickers will work here, but it won't. And I will use one of those Maggie Holmes bows. I end up using that teal one. Um, I'm basing this layout on a layout I saw on the American Crafts blog by Jillian Nelson, and everything is kind of there's a strip of paper at the top, and then everything else is kind of lined up down the center. So what I'm trying to do with this layout is make everything, rather than doing like clusters of 3 or like a visual triangle, I'm making it so everything is kind of mirrored on the other side of the photo. So you can see I pulled out those Dear Lizzie flowers that I cut out of a piece of paper. I put one on each side, and then I've got a circle on the bottom right of the photo, and then I'm mirroring that with that flare badge on the top that says Simple Things, and that's from Recollections, just a Michael's brand. And then I'm going to use those pink label stickers, which are also from Maggie Holmes, I believe the flea market collection. I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom to kind of anchor those circles. And then the Simple Things flare kind of has that darker teal color, which helps to balance that bow. So, like I said, I'm just trying to keep it really balanced because everything is going to be going up and down the center of the layout. So everything is really centered on the page. I pulled that 8 from a chipboard sticker sheet that's also from the Maggie Holmes Flea Market collection. And it's kind of a grayish wood grain, which matches really well with that craft color. And I'm trying to decide if I can pull another piece up to the top left so that it's balanced. Like I said, I'm trying to balance everything. I pulled out this stamp set from Close to My Heart that I put in this kit, and I thought about doing my journaling on some little labels, the little stamped labels, before I do that, I decided I need to glue everything else down. So I'm just going to adhere all of my layers really quick before they get kind of lost. I want to thank you guys all for your well wishes. I hate being sick, and it's miserable sitting there in my bed, just laying there. I was so weak I couldn't get up, but I just was laying there thinking about all the things I could be scrapbooking, and it was driving me crazy. So I'm still sick, but I'm up and I'm doing it, and it's going to be fine. So I'm cutting off a little piece of that craft cardstock because I decide I want my journaling to be typed, but my typewriter only fits an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and so I can't type it directly on the background, and I only have one sheet of that color of craft cardstock. So I just cut off a little piece, and I'm going to send that through my typewriter with my journaling on it, and then cut it into strips. So again, I'm just gluing down all my layers and using my favorite thin foam squares. Speaking of favorite, a bunch of us YouTubers are getting together to do a My Favorite Things kind of YouTube hop on November 30th. We're all going to post our videos of our favorite things of 2014, products, and kind of go-to products. And so be sure to check that out. Each person will list all of the other YouTubers' channels so that you can be sure to see everybody's favorite things. So that's going to be really fun. And Iri Landgraf is the one who started that going. So thanks, Iri. That's going to be fun. We'll see if I can talk for that long. Hopefully, by the time I film those videos, I will be able to. Anyway, so now I am just trying to figure out how I want to adhere these letters. And actually, adhesive doesn't really show through them, so I could have just adhered them with my This to That adhesive from American Crafts. And I am putting a little teeny tiny bit of that adhesive on the letters, but I'm going to also staple them down with my tiny attacher. And I just like the way it looks, and it's just kind of fun to staple stuff. I don't know. And they're little, and so anything little is cute. And this layout actually was really fast because I had that idea in mind. It only took me about 35 minutes or so. I didn't speed it up super, super fast. So that was awesome. I really like the way that these letter stickers, the wood U, just barely stands out. Like you can definitely see it, and it's creamy and white, but it's not overpowering. So I like that. I'm using some of these, one of those label word strips from My Mind's Eye, and I think it says "No one in the world is quite like you" or something like that, which is very fitting. And then this little butterfly had the same pattern on it as that 8. So I'm just going to again create some balance, put that up on the top left to balance the 8 on the bottom right. And the 8 is just for her age. I'm talking about how part of being 8 is asking annoying questions. Love my girl, but there's only so many would you rathers I can hear in a row. Excuse me. So I can't laugh apparently because that sets off my coughing. So I'm pulling out some of this wood grain washi tape. It's from My Mind's Eye, and I'm going to place it along where those two papers meet, and I really like the way that looks. I'm just trying to figure out how much I need to put on. And then I will adjust that pink label a little bit so that it's a little lower, just so that the bottom line of the label and the bottom of the washi tape aren't lined up. It just was too linear, I guess. I don't know. I needed it to be offset a little bit. So I'm stamping that label in my slate gray ink from Close to My Heart and decide I didn't like it. So that's when I decide to just type it up and do kind of a tone-on-tone journaling, cutting all of these into strips. And again, the journaling is just talking about how my daughter's really into asking would you rather kind of questions, and I typed out some of the questions she asked, like, would you rather be a cat or a dog, or would you rather die young or old, or she asks anything she can think of, she'll ask it. And so, like, for a little bit it was kind of cute, and now it's just kind of super annoying, sadly. But that's part of being 8 years old, so anyway, that's kind of what the journaling talks about. So I'm just kind of deciding how I want to um, place my pieces. And again, I'm making everything line up from top to bottom. The only horizontal element really is that horizontal stripe of the paper and the washi tape, and the rest of everything else is going to be lined up down the center. And again, I found this layout, and hers is so much cleaner and prettier than mine, but by Jillian Nelson on the American Crafts blog. And if I can remember, I will try to link to that. But I'm just still cutting those strips, and I'm cutting them pretty thin, really close to the writing. So now I'm just going to play around with them and see how I want them to line up. I couldn't decide at first if I was going to line them up directly centered or if I was going to move it a little bit. Sorry for my head there. I'm using my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive to glue these down, and I'm just putting it in the center because I want the sides to kind of lift up so that you can get that shadowing underneath, and that just gives it a little bit more dimension. So even though it's tone on tone, you still get that shadowing, which adds extra interest. So again, just putting the adhesive only on the centers of those strips. And I'm making the glue ooze out everywhere, but that's okay, it dries clear. And I'm lucky enough to have found a red tipped Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. I know now they only make ones with a clear tip, and it's not as fine of a tip, so hold on to those clear or those red tipped Scotch Quick Dry adhesives if you get them. And then I decided to type out asking questions at Arby's on this white piece of paper. And once I put it on the layout, it was way too white. Everything else on the layout is like a grayish white or a creamy white. And so I'm trying to decide what to do with it. For some reason, I took out this, I can't remember what the color is, but it's a distress paint, and it's kind of a creamy color, and I thought maybe that would work. It kind of does, but it smears the ink. And then I just decided I really didn't like it, and so I end up just taking that off, and I'm just going to stamp the date with my Heidi Swap roller date stamp because that's what I use all the time, always. But first I'm going to do some paint splatters, and this is the black Heidi Swap Color Shine. So it does dry with kind of a little bit of a metallic finish. And then I'm just stamping in black October 2014. And that is going to finish off the layout. I hope you enjoyed, and like I said, on the 30th, a bunch of us ladies will be sharing our favorite things on YouTube, and so watch for that. Hopefully I'll have another process video or two before that. I've been missing scrapbooking, so I'm eager to do a bunch of layouts, and I have lots of ideas. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!